This is a plant known as wood sorrel, and you can actually eat this. It tastes a little bit like the skin of an apple, but that's not really what I want to talk about. The stump is wet. The stump is incredibly wet. Hang on. Is my bum wet? Pretty sure my bum's wet. Oh, this is not going to be a good look. Right, we'll sit here. Oh, the sun is attempting to come out. Okay, so for the last 6 years, I've been posting at least one video to YouTube per week. I've made about 700 videos at this point. And this year, at the start of this year, I didn't really talk about this, but I decided that this was going to be the year that I was either going to quit YouTube or double down on it if it was actually worthwhile. And to try and make that decision on whether it was worth keeping going or quitting or not, because to be honest, the way it was going, I was trying to juggle that plus my client work, and it was just too much. One of them had to go. So at the start of the year, I invested in some training. I did a course, and that focused me a lot. It made me realize some harsh truths that I had to cut per performing content, and I also gained a lot of confidence from that course because I was told my channel did have potential. So I doubled down on it, and the start of this year, I started to see significant growth. And in the first 6 months of this year, I gained nearly 30,000 subscribers, which is 3 times what I gained in the entirety of last year. And just this week, of all weeks, this is my 6-year anniversary on Publishing Weekly, and I can't believe this. This week, I had a video for the very first time broke 1 million views. And I am honestly at the point now where if I wanted to, I could do this full time. I could quit my client work and I can do YouTube full time. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to, and I'm going to explain why I'm not going to sort of later on in this video. But first of all, I just wanted to run through some things that I've learned that you might find useful or interesting, even if you don't have a YouTube channel. I'm going to try and go through these pretty quickly. So the first thing I've learned, and this is an obvious thing that people know, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is literally the definition of insanity. I feel like I spent quite a lot of time, quite a few years, making very, very similar videos over and over and over, and not really seeing them do spectacularly well, or at least lead to any kind of significant growth. For me, it wasn't until I really started looking and being honest with myself with what was working and what wasn't working, and then trying to make changes and move in different directions, that things started to pick up. Second thing is that good ideas and storytelling, I found, are everything. You can go out and do the most boring thing ever, like run 13 miles. And if you just make a video which is called I ran 13 miles, who's going to watch that? But if you manage to find a story in that 13 miles, people might watch. You go look at my previous video, the video I did of the Antrim Coast Half Marathon. Previous years, last year, that exact same video got 4,000 views in the entire year. That video is already on 14,000 views because I incorporated a story into that video. I give people a larger reason to watch than simply the activity that was happening in the video itself. So yeah, good ideas within the video can add a lot to the activity you're already doing in that video. Number 3, I'm going to go through these quickly. I'm not going to go super in depth. Number 3 is ignore everybody else. I spent probably too much time looking at other outdoor channels and seeing what they were doing and trying to copy them, and then getting stuck chasing one particular audience or another. I feel like it's worked best for me when I've focused on the things that I want to do and I'm interested in, and the videos I want to make, and the places I want to go, and the places I want to make videos about, and the stories I want to make videos about, than when I've just looked at what's worked for other people and copied them. I've done that a number of times. I've tried to copy other people, just directly copy their ideas. And it does work, but it doesn't work in a way that makes you stand out in any unique fashion. If anything, it just reminds those people of that other video they watched originally. So for me, it's been important to, what are the original things that I can do and I can say, and places I can go and things like that. Spending 1 month on a single, well-planned, well-researched video can be worth far more than publishing 4, this kind of relates to the previous point, than publishing 4 videos that you manage to squeeze out in a week. I've seen this repeat a few times where I've put a lot more effort into a video. I've thought about it, I've looked into the story, I've even scripted a lot of it. Those videos have done crazy numbers compared to sort of more mediocre ones that I've just squeezed out because I feel that I just had to get a video out. But then the flip side of that, and next point is 7, sometimes videos with no planning, but just a good hook can do really good numbers. My tiny tent video that I recently did is an example of that. My plan for that video was, I just want to do something easy because I've been working on some hard ideas. I just thought, I'll just take the tiny tent out. That video was reasonably popular last time, and I'll make another video about it. It's got 350,000 views. I can't believe it. I mean, you shouldn't expect that to happen every time, but I think I just managed to hit, I don't know what it is, it just hit some kind of nerve of interest and multiple audience overlaps or something. So yeah, simple ideas with just a good hook or a good thing that can grab them can still work. I still don't think that's a particularly good or interesting video. I literally sit there for 10 minutes complaining about some food. Maybe people like the money. Maybe that's it. So yeah, those 2 points are, sometimes it pays to plan a lot, and sometimes it pays to just plan a good concept and then hope that the editing fixes it afterwards. Writing is incredibly important. I found this for the sort of story-based content I've started doing. I tried doing these little mini documentary videos that have now started to succeed for me a few years ago. I've tried a few and they all failed. And I realized looking back that they all failed because I didn't write them, I didn't script them. I just went out and shot randomly and then tried to assemble it in the edit. But when it comes to storytelling, you can't do that because when you're telling a story, you're setting up a problem, you're setting up obstacles, you're setting up then the sort of the challenge and the attempts to resolve it, and then you have to have some kind of conclusion that ties that all together. And if you don't have that, you don't really get viewer satisfaction. So if you are trying to tell stories, you do have to plan some kind of arc within that. 1 million views are not worth as much money as you'd think. I've had 1 million views on that blue-green algae video. That is a video that I probably spent, I don't know, like the guts of at least a month working on it. Maybe a month, maybe six weeks in total. It's a video I've been working on and off on since last summer. And 1 million views on that video in ad revenue was worth about £2,500. I'll just tell you. You can let me know whether or not that's surprising. To give you a comparison, that's a lot less than I would make if I just had spent that time on client work. And that's why sponsors are so important when it comes to YouTube, because if I quit YouTube totally today, I'd make more money just doing my my commercial work. I'm not complaining. It's just how it is. I knew it would be how it was, but I think sometimes people think that 1 million views is worth like crazy money. It's not. It's definitely not to be sniffed at. Absolutely not. It's a big chunk of cash. But it's maybe not what people are expecting. Never underestimate how important your videos could be to somebody else. This is something that blindsides me every time somebody makes a comment to that effect, where they tell me that like the videos made them go out and take up a new hobby, or even when someone says like, I got a comment, your videos make me happy. That's like a weird, yeah. I feel weird about that in a way, that I can make something that can cheer somebody up somewhere else. Yeah, and I feel more and more that's kind of my purpose in doing YouTube, is to make content that kind of helps people a little bit in that way. There's different, yeah. Can you tell I feel kind of conflicted? I don't really know exactly how I feel about this, but I guess the point is, regardless of me trying to figure out how I feel about it, never underestimate the impact that one video can make, even to one person watching and that is something very, very special. And my very last point is, this sounds very American, freedom isn't free. I can't and shouldn't complain, because the work that I do now, it has given me a lot of freedom. I do get to go out and have fun in the outdoors quite a lot. It's not as much as you think it is. I'm actually only out about once a week. I think some people think I'm out every single day. I'm not. It's like an average. It's like once a week. And I go camping about once every, on average, maybe, well, on average it's probably about once a month. But again, it's probably not as much as you think. But it's all come at a cost. Like over the last 6 years, I've effectively been working, and again, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating how it is. It's kind of, I've been sort of working 2 jobs. I never sit down and watch, or almost never sit TV in the evenings. I work most evenings, either answering comments or planning stuff or doing a little bit of edit, and even just for a few hours. I don't play video games anymore. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of sacrifices involved, so I hope nobody ever sees it as something that's going to, you know, just change the world for them and make everything absolutely amazing. Everybody's got problems, and no matter what you do, you're going to have different problems. Problems follow us around. But again, I suppose I've summed this up in the past by saying that the work I do now is the most enjoyable, most rewarding, but also the most stressful job I've ever had in my life. And I still stand by that. I work harder now than I ever have done, but I enjoy it more often than anything else I've ever done. And that's not for everyone, but for some people it could be the thing that sort of gives them the freedom they're looking for if stuff succeeds. Just a thought. Right, so why will I never go full-time? I have a few reasons for this, and I'm just going to talk through them. There's 2 reasons really. One is there isn't job security with YouTube. Even though you might say, well, you've got control of your own content, you've got control of what you're doing. Yes, I do, but I don't own YouTube. I don't own the platform. Google could change something tomorrow and I could lose my entire channel like that, and it's gone. And that's it. Or there could be some kind of global catastrophe and takes out the internet, or, well, if that happens, we've probably got bigger problems. That could happen. Or I could get cancelled, or something, offend somebody. I get cancelled. There isn't job security in it. So that's why I don't really want to rely on it. That's one of the reasons I've started up Patreon, to try and keep a separate community off of YouTube. That's why if you're a subscriber and you're not already, like if you like go sign up to Patreon and just sign up for the free email newsletter. You don't have to join and pay any money. If you sign up for that paid email newsletter, if anything ever happens to this channel, I still have ways of communicating with the audience. But if YouTube ever went down or my channel got deleted or something like that, I'd be starting from scratch. So that kind of scares me a little bit. And then the other thing, to be honest, is I don't want to totally give up client work. I've been working with clients and businesses like my entire career, and I enjoy it. I enjoy going into a business and learning about them and meeting the people and coming up with ideas for, you know, content for videos that might help that business. I've been doing it since I was 15, and I'm slightly over double that now. Sorry, there's a big. There was an insect. There was a bug in my leg. So yeah, I don't want to give that up, but what YouTube will give me the freedom to do is to shift that balance. For the last 6 years, it's been like, my income has been 80% client work, maybe 20% YouTube. In the last 6 months, it's been 40% client work, 60% YouTube. I'd like to get that to the point where YouTube is about 75% to 80%. And then my client work is kind of in there as well. That way I can kind of pick and choose the jobs I want to do, because sometimes I've just said yes to work to do it. If you don't know, I do commercial video production. That's my background in all of this. Going ahead, I see a few things changing. One of those I think might be I might have to start replying to comments less. That, especially if the videos continue to get more views. They might not. That might crash and burn. But that blue-green algae video got like 3,000 comments, and I've replied to so many of them. I've also banned a lot of people. I ban people who, anybody who is abusive. I don't mind criticism, but someone who's abusive, I ban them. And anybody who basically tries to start arguments for the sake of arguments, I ban them as well. You know what? This is not an open platform. You can't say what you want. I will hit you with the ban hammer if you come in here trying to stir stuff up. Some of it I let slide, but generally if I see comments that are just going to cause arguments that have no benefit, you're out of here and you won't know it, because I will use the YouTube feature, which means you can comment, but you don't know that no one is seeing your comment, which is a great feature. Yeah, so I'll probably be commenting or replying to comments less in general if I continue to get a large number of comments. That's why Patreon's going to become important. I've got chats on there where I can chat to people who've joined. There's like a WhatsApp style chat in there. There's kind of about 12 people on that. That's on one of the paid tiers. I also think maybe long-term Patreon, I might want to do some kind of meetup, possibly, if I can, like a group hike or something like that. I'll probably never do a group camp. I've been asked about that a lot, and probably one of the reasons I won't do a group camp is because I don't think it's necessarily ethical, at least not a group wild camp, unless it was really restricted numbers, and then it's not a group. I just don't think that group camps of any more than 3 to 5 people max are really sort of appropriate when it's wild camping. That's my own personal feeling. When you get big groups, it's just, yeah. But group hikes, that's another thing. That's another thing entirely. And then I guess when it comes, my bum's getting really numb. When it comes to the content, I want to more combine my love of the outdoors and activities I want to do in the outdoors with stories that are connected to the outdoors. So you're going to see a little bit more of that moving forward. Yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you to you loyal people who have been here. I know some of you have been watching for 6 years. That's it. It blows my mind. If you have been watching that long, thank you so much. If you've been watching for any less time, also thank you so much. I'm going to try and never take it for granted that people are watching these silly little videos that I stick on the internet. And I appreciate all of you, my future friends who are here, but you're not here right now. You'll be here when I publish this video in 3 days. So yeah, to all my future friends, thank you very much. And to all my future friends, thank you too. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one, which I think is going to be a bikepacking trip in Scotland. Bye-bye.